Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be going through the best parts of episode 2 season 3 of Mandalorian. So let's get straight into it. So the episode starts up with Pelimote talking to what looks like Greedo from a Star Wars A New Hope, but it's not him. And she's basically discussing with him some, nonsense. I couldn't really tell what they were talking about. But not long after that, Mando basically, he's shown up now to see her, and he's asking her if she's got the parts that he needs to rebuild IG-11. I don't really think she answers at all, really, the question about the parts. But instead of giving him any parts or any answers, she tries to palm him off with another droid, R5. If you pay attention, you'll love the originals. You'll realize that it's part of the line that R2-D2 was part of. But when she bangs on the R5 to say, yeah, look, he's a good old bro, but part of him just falls apart, and Mandalorian's like, I don't want him. He's like falling to pieces. But yeah, she convinces him to take the R5, although the R5 himself, he is very reluctant to want to go and explore Mandalore. But nevertheless, Mando takes him, and then they head for Mandalore. So now Mando, R5, and Grogu arrive in Mandalore, which looks in pretty bad shape. It looks nice on the visually for us, but in that world, it's in bad shape. You can tell it's had a lot of war going on around it, and it's all crystallized and everything. So they land on the ship, and Mando sends out R5 to investigate the planet and the atmosphere. Again, the R5 is very reluctant to want to go anywhere near this planet. So while they're waiting for the R5 to return, his tracker disappears off the radar, and then Mando decides that he's got to go out now, and he's gonna have to try and retrieve R5 and find out what's happened to him. As you would expect, Grogu literally does not want him to go. He goes. The Mando heads to a nearby cave in search for R5, but once inside, he sees what resembles a Mandalore city center, and while he's there, he's attacked by some beasts that resemble the Morlocks from the original Time Machine movie starring Rod Taylor, if you remember. So it looks like the Morlocks, and he's like using his blaster to shoot them off. Then they knock the blaster out of his hand, so that's when he pulls out the dark saber, and he literally just integrates all of them once he got that in his hands. And then seconds later, he finds R5, and he brings him back to the ship to analyze the data and find out what he has found out about this planet. They soon realize the planet is breathable, so they can proceed and head into the caves to find the Mandalore mines. The Mando and Grogu head down into the civic center to find the mines, but while down there, Mandalorian finds so many Mandalorian helmets in sand and stuff, look really old, they've been there for a long time. And basically, while he's looking at one of them, he's literally captured by this big machine creature from underneath all the sand that captures him and puts him in some cage and stuff, and just takes him away to his little dungeon. While Mando's being carried away, Grogu sneakily follows where he takes Mando. And then once the beast leaves Mando for a second, Grogu goes to him, and Mando just shouts at him and basically tells him to go and get Bo-Katan. So he jumps in his little bow-shaped hover thingy, and he zooms straight out of there, goes straight back to the ship, and then is pointing at the map to insinuate to R5 to send the ship back to Bo-Katan. Now once Grogu arrives to Bo-Katan, she gets out of her seat and thinks it's Mandalorian, so she's like, I'm going to tell him to leave for once and for all. But then when she gets to the ship and the top of it opens, she realizes that Mando is not in there, and it's just Grogu, and she's like, what's happened to him? And then she jumps straight in her ship and heads straight to Mandalore with Grogu to find out what the hell has happened to him. So now they get to Mandalore, and they're heading straight into the caves now to find out where Mando is. Now, in the cave where Mando is being kept, it seems that this creature is drawing his blood for some reason. And then she gets there, and now she's got to have this big old fight with the Morlocks, I'm just going to say. So the Morlocks appear again, and they start fighting Bo-Katan, and then she takes care of them, and she's like to Grogu, what did you think your father was the only Mandalorian? And not that long after, she finds the cave where Mando is being kept. And now she had another battle, and she's battling it out with this mechanical creature, and she's able to find Mando's dark saber, and she uses the dark saber and literally destroys this thing with the dark saber. And then the head of it gets away and goes into an even bigger machine, and then she has to take out that machine. But what's really interesting for me in the scene is every time we have seen Mando use the dark saber, he can barely hold it up. Whereas Bo-Katan was holding it up like a Jedi holds a lightsaber, like it was nothing. That was really interesting to me. Part of me thinks that may have been, you know, a hint that it's going to end up in her hands at some point. So now she's rescued Mando. They're sitting down like on some hilltop thing inside the caves and kind of resting, and she gives him something to drink and stuff. And basically he says to her, okay, thank you and all, but I've got to go down to the caves. And she's like, wants him to go with her. And then I think they come to some sort of agreement that she'll take him to the caves and then he's going to come with her. So they eventually find these ancient waters that Mando needs to get to redeem himself. He takes off his cloak, he walks into the waters and starts, you know, speaking the oath or whatever I think it is. And as he's like halfway into the water, he just gets yanked onto the water and he's just like gone. And Bo-Katan Mason wastes no time whatsoever and dives straight in after him and goes right all the way down. Now, they didn't show what dragged him under, but she finds him like right at the bottom of this sea. And then on the way up, she sees this ginormous beast in there that doesn't really interfere with her, doesn't attack her or anything. It's just staring at her. I mean, when I say this thing is huge, it's like a whale. But yeah, she gets to the top and they fly out of the water and land on the side. And literally, that's the end of the episode. It goes straight to the credits after that, and boom, the awesome Mandalorian score. So yeah, guys, that was my recap of the best moments I thought from episode 2 of Mandalorian season 3. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm enjoying it. Granted, it's not as good as the previous 2 seasons, but we're 2 episodes in, so you got to give it a time to get to where it's going. Sometimes a series will start off slow. I mean, take WandaVision. A lot of people rate that show very highly, but let's be honest, that show started very slowly. But yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope you enjoyed this video and the recap. There'll be another one again next week as usual, as I always do when I'm watching a show that I really enjoy. You may have noticed there is no Last of Us recap videos on this channel. You know, I've been watching that show. I really enjoy that show, but for some reason I completely forgot to start doing a recap for that show, and by the time I realized we were like 3 episodes in, I didn't see the point of starting halfway through a show. It doesn't make sense. You know, I don't think anyone would really appreciate half done, you know, videos. So yeah, I'll probably start with season 2 of that. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this season of Mandalorian. Are you enjoying it? Do you miss the, you know, the no appearances from Fennec or Cara Dune? Would you like to see Bill Burr make a return? I think I would. I think Bill Burr, it was a very interesting character in the first 2 seasons. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.